Ladies and gentlemen, one of the greatest lessons in life is learning what to share and what to keep private. In a world that encourages oversharing, where people broadcast every move, every thought, and every struggle, there is power in silence. There is wisdom in keeping certain things to yourself. One of the greatest strengths a person can develop in life is the ability to keep things to themselves. We live in a world where everyone seems eager to share every detail of their lives, from their daily routines to their struggles, their dreams, and their deepest thoughts. Social media has created an environment where people feel the need to constantly update others on what they're doing, thinking, or feeling. But the truth is, the more people know about you, the more power they have over you. You must understand that not everyone who listens to you actually cares. Some people are simply curious. They are not invested in your success or well-being. They just want to know what's happening in your life. Some listen because they are waiting for you to fail. Others listen because they want to use your information against you. And then there are those who pretend to support you, but in reality, they secretly hope you don't succeed beyond them. This is why wisdom teaches us that privacy is a form of power. The less people know about you, the less they can interfere with your life. When you share your dreams and ambitions too soon, you invite unwanted opinions. People will tell you that your goals are impossible. They will project their own fears and insecurities onto you. They will remind you of all the ways you could fail. They will make you doubt yourself before you even take the first step. But when you keep your dreams private, you protect them from negativity. You give them space to grow without interference. You allow yourself to build momentum without the burden of other people's expectations and doubts. There is a reason why successful people move in silence. They don't waste time explaining their plans. They don't announce every step they are going to take. They focus on doing the work. They let their results speak for them. If you look at the most powerful people in the world, you will notice that they rarely talk about what they are going to do. They just do it. And when they achieve their goals, the world sees the results. This is a principle that can transform your life. Instead of talking about what you are going to do, focus on doing it. Let your success make the noise. Privacy is not just about protecting your dreams, it's also about protecting your emotions. When people know too much about your personal life, they gain access to your emotional buttons. If they know what makes you angry, they can provoke you. If they know what makes you insecure, they can manipulate you. If they know your weaknesses, they can use them against you. This is why emotional discipline is so important. A strong person does not allow others to control their emotions. A strong person does not reveal their fears, their struggles, or their vulnerabilities to just anyone. They choose wisely who they confide in, and they understand that not everyone deserves access to their inner world. The art of selective sharing is a skill that will serve you for a lifetime. Not every situation requires you to speak. Not every person deserves an explanation. Not every question needs an answer. Sometimes the best response is silence. Sometimes the best way to protect yourself is to simply observe and say nothing. People often assume that being transparent is a sign of honesty, but in reality, being overly transparent can be a sign of weakness. It can make you an easy target. It can give people the information they need to control you. Think about the most mysterious and powerful individuals you know. They don't reveal everything about themselves. They don't explain their every move. They maintain a sense of mystery, and because of that, people respect them. They command attention without having to beg for it. They have an aura of strength because they don't allow the world to have full access to them. This is the kind of power you must develop. When you learn to be more reserved, you will notice that people treat you differently. They will respect you more. They will take you more seriously. They will be curious about you, but they won't be able to figure you out. There is a saying that goes, "Never let your right hand know what your left hand is doing." This means that even the closest people in your life don't need to know everything about you. Of course, this does not mean you should isolate yourself completely. It simply means that you must be intentional about what you share and who you share it with. Some people have pure hearts and will genuinely support you, but others will smile in your face while secretly hoping for your downfall. You must have the wisdom to know the difference. Another reason to guard your privacy is that people's perceptions of you can shape your reality. If you allow others to define you, their opinions will influence how you see yourself. If people believe you are weak, they will treat you that way. If they believe you are not capable, they will not take you seriously. But if you control the narrative of your life, if you maintain a level of mystery, you decide how people see you. You decide what image you project to the world. Many people fail in life not because they are incapable, but because they allow too many people to speak into their lives. They allow too many opinions to influence their decisions. They seek approval before they take action. But the truth is, if you constantly seek validation from others, you will never be free. You will always be a prisoner to other people's expectations. You will never fully realize your potential because you are too busy trying to please the world. Instead of seeking approval, seek progress. Instead of explaining yourself, show results. Instead of talking about what you are going to do, just do it. You don't owe anyone an explanation for how you live your life. You don't need to justify your choices to people who don't walk in your shoes. Your life is yours to live, and you have the right to protect it from unnecessary interference. Even spiritually, wisdom teaches us that silence is powerful. The Bible says in Proverbs 17:28, even fools are thought wise if they keep silent, and discerning if they hold their tongues. This means that by speaking less, you appear more intelligent. By choosing your words carefully, you gain more influence. By being strategic in what you reveal, you maintain control over your life. If you want to succeed, if you want to protect your peace, if you want to maintain your personal power, learn the art of discretion. Do not let people know too much about you. Guard your dreams. Protect your emotions. Move in silence. Let your success speak for itself, and most importantly, remember this. The less people know, the stronger you become. Not everyone deserves to know your plans, your struggles, or your dreams. One of the greatest mistakes people make is assuming that everyone around them has good intentions. The truth is, not everyone who smiles at you is happy for you. Not everyone who listens to you wants the best for you. Some people are just collecting information, waiting for the right moment to use it against you. The less you reveal, the less control others have over your life. When you tell people your next move before making it, you give them the power to interfere. They may discourage you, question you, or even try to sabotage you. Some people are uncomfortable with your growth because it reminds them of their own stagnation. Your ambition exposes their laziness. Your determination reminds them of their excuses. Instead of cheering you on, they will plant seeds of doubt in your mind. They will make you second guess yourself before you even take the first step. Your dreams are like delicate seeds. They need time to grow in the darkness before they can withstand the light. When you expose them too soon, you risk having them trampled on before they have a chance to develop. That is why you must be selective about what you share and with whom. Some people will pretend to support you while secretly hoping you fail. Others will act like they are helping you, but their real motive is to keep you dependent on them. The wrong words from the wrong person at the wrong time can kill your motivation before it even takes root. People's opinions are often a reflection of their own limitations, not yours. When they tell you something is impossible, it's because they don't believe they could do it themselves. When they tell you to be realistic, it's because they have settled for mediocrity. Do not let their fears become your fears. Do not let their doubts become your doubts. Move in silence. Work on your goals without seeking approval. Let your results speak for themselves. Silence is a form of power. The less people know about you, the more control you have over your life. When you are unpredictable, you become harder to manipulate. When people cannot figure you out, they cannot control you. They cannot use your weaknesses against you. They cannot interfere with your progress. A person who talks too much about their plans exposes themselves to unnecessary obstacles. But a person who moves in silence operates with strength and wisdom. When people know too much about you, they feel entitled to have an opinion on your life. They start giving unsolicited advice. They start questioning your decisions. They feel like they have a say in what you do. The more information you give them, the more they feel like they have the right to tell you how to live. But when you keep things to yourself, you maintain control. You do not owe anyone an explanation for how you choose to live your life. You do not need to justify your goals, your dreams, or your choices to people who do not walk in your shoes. Some people are energy thieves. They drain your motivation, your enthusiasm, and your belief in yourself. They act supportive, but their words carry hidden negativity. They say things like, "Are you sure you can do that?" Or, "What if it doesn't work out?" Or, "I wouldn't take that risk if I were you." These statements seem harmless, but they plant doubt in your mind. They make you question yourself. They make you hesitate. And hesitation is the enemy of progress. Do not allow people to weaken your vision. Keep your focus, work in silence, protect your energy. You do not need everyone's validation. You do not need everyone's approval. Some of the most successful people in the world achieved greatness because they stopped seeking permission. They did not ask for opinions. They did not explain themselves. They simply did what needed to be done. And when they succeeded, the world had no choice but to take notice. Privacy is not just about protecting your dreams. It is also about protecting your emotions. When people know too much about your personal life, they gain access to your emotional triggers. If they know what makes you angry, they can provoke you. If they know what makes you insecure, they can manipulate you. If they know what you fear, they can control you. A strong person keeps their emotions in check. They do not allow others to dictate how they feel. They do not reveal their weaknesses to just anyone. They understand that emotional control is a form of strength. The greatest leaders, the most influential people, the most respected individuals, they all have one thing in common. They are selective about what they share. They do not reveal everything about themselves. They maintain an air of mystery. They command respect because they do not allow the world to have full access to them. They understand that when people cannot figure you out, they are forced to respect you. Many people fail in life not because they lack ability, but because they talk too much. They announce their plans before they are ready. They tell the wrong people their struggles. They expose their weaknesses to those who do not truly care. And in doing so, they give others the power to discourage them, manipulate them, and hold them back. Wisdom teaches us that silence is golden. The Bible says in Proverbs 17:28, "Even fools are thought wise if they keep silent." This means that by speaking less, you appear more intelligent. By choosing your words carefully, you gain more influence. By being strategic in what you reveal, you maintain control over your life. There's a time to speak, and there's a time to remain silent. There's a time to share, and there is a time to keep things private. Not everyone deserves to know your struggles. Not everyone needs to hear your dreams. Some things are meant to be kept between you and God. Some plans are meant to be worked on in private until they are strong enough to withstand public scrutiny. The more you talk, the more opportunities you give people to misunderstand you. The more you reveal, the more vulnerable you become. But when you learn to be silent, you become stronger, you become wiser, you become more powerful. If you want to protect your peace, if you want to maintain your personal power, if you want to succeed without unnecessary obstacles, learn the art of discretion. Do not let people know too much about you. Guard your dreams, protect your emotions, move in silence. Let your success be the proof of your work. And most importantly, remember this: the less people know, the stronger you become. Trust is a fragile thing, and not everyone in your life deserves to hold it. One of the biggest mistakes people make is assuming that just because someone is close to them in proximity, they can be trusted with personal information. The truth is, many people are not equipped to handle the weight of your dreams, your struggles, or your secrets. Some people listen only to find a way to use your words against you. Others pretend to care, but they are merely collecting information to spread in conversations that do not include you. It is essential to recognize that trust is not something you give freely. It is something that must be earned. Too often, people share their struggles with those who have not demonstrated loyalty. They assume that just because someone listens, they care. But listening does not equal loyalty. Some people listen with the intent to help, while others listen with the intent to judge. The moment you share too much with the wrong person, you give them ammunition. They may not use it today, they may not use it tomorrow, but the day you have a disagreement, they will bring up everything you told them in confidence. When you trust too easily, you set yourself up for disappointment. Human nature is flawed, and not everyone values discretion. Some people enjoy gossip more than they enjoy integrity. They pretend to be a safe space for your secrets, but in reality, they cannot wait to pass along your personal business to others. If you have ever confided in someone only to hear your own words repeated by someone else, then you understand the pain of misplaced trust. Once your private matters become public knowledge, you can never take them back. The damage is done. The key to protecting yourself is to be selective about who you open up to. Just because someone asks about your life does not mean they deserve an answer. Not everyone who seems interested in your story actually cares. Some are merely curious. Some want to see if you are struggling so they can feel better about their own situation. Some enjoy knowing your weak points because it gives them a sense of power over you. Silence is a powerful tool. When you keep things to yourself, you remain in control. You dictate who has access to your personal life. You decide who is worthy of knowing your struggles, your dreams, and your challenges. When you keep certain things private, you prevent others from interfering, from offering unsolicited opinions, and from influencing your decisions with their own fears and limitations. Trust is not just about finding the right people. It is also about knowing what information to share and what to keep to yourself. Some things are meant to be private. Your dreams, your financial status, your relationships, and your weaknesses should not be public knowledge. The more people know about you, the more vulnerable you become. When people know your dreams, they may try to discourage you. When they know your finances, they may try to take advantage of you. When they know your weaknesses, they may try to manipulate you. Learning to be selective with trust does not mean becoming isolated. It means being wise. It means recognizing that not everyone has your best interests at heart. Some people thrive on knowing more about others because it gives them something to talk about. They do not care about your well-being. They care about entertainment. They collect secrets like trophies, and they share them without considering the damage they may cause. You must also understand that trust is not a permanent contract. Just because someone was trustworthy in the past does not mean they will be trustworthy in the future. People change. Friendships shift. Loyalties fade. Someone who was once your closest confidant can become a stranger overnight. This is why it is important to always be cautious. Do not assume that past loyalty guarantees future discretion. People reveal their true colors when circumstances change, when jealousy enters the picture, when competition arises, when misunderstandings occur. A person who was once a supporter can turn into a critic, and if you have shared too much, they will use your own words against you. Another reason to be cautious with trust is that people often project their own fears onto you. When you share your dreams, some people will immediately tell you why they will not work. Not because they have analyzed your potential, but because they are speaking from their own failures. If they could not achieve something, they assume you cannot either. If they fear risk, they will try to make you fear it too. If they have settled for mediocrity, they will try to convince you that aiming higher is unrealistic. This is why it is sometimes better to work in silence and let success be your voice. You do not need to explain yourself to everyone. You do not owe the world access to your personal thoughts and struggles. You do not need validation from others to move forward in life. Many successful people operate in silence, not because they are secretive, but because they understand that not everyone deserves a front row seat to their journey. They share their victories when the work is done, not when they are still in the process of building. There is wisdom in discretion. When you are selective about what you share, you protect your energy. You shield yourself from unnecessary negativity. You prevent people from placing their doubts in your mind. You maintain control over your own narrative. The more people know about you, the more they feel entitled to have an opinion on your life. The less they know, the more they are forced to respect your choices without interference. At the end of the day, trust is a privilege, not a right. It is something that must be earned, tested, and maintained. If you have ever been betrayed, you know the pain of misplaced trust. But instead of becoming bitter, become wiser. Learn from the experience. Be more selective moving forward. Pay attention to how people handle the small details before you trust them with the big ones. Watch how they speak about others before you assume they will keep your secrets. Notice how they handle conflict before you confide in them. Do not make the mistake of assuming that everyone operates with the same level of integrity as you. Some people will take your trust and break it without a second thought. Others will hold your secrets today but betray them tomorrow if it benefits them. This is the reality of human nature. But when you learn to be selective, when you learn to value your privacy, when you understand that not everyone deserves access to your inner world, you take back your power. The fewer people who know your personal business, the stronger you become. The less you explain yourself, the more mysterious you appear. The fewer people who know your weaknesses, the harder it is for them to use them against you. Trust is valuable, and once broken, it is difficult to repair. Choose wisely who you confide in. Protect your dreams, guard your personal life, not because you are secretive, but because you are wise. The less people know, the more they are forced to watch in silence as you succeed. There is power in moving in silence. In a world where people feel compelled to share every detail of their lives, those who master discretion hold a distinct advantage. The less people know about your personal plans, your struggles, and your next move, the harder it is for them to interfere, manipulate, or sabotage you. When you reveal too much, you unknowingly give others control over your life. They begin to form opinions about what you should or should not do. They start offering unsolicited advice, planting seeds of doubt, and sometimes they take what they know and use it against you. The truth is, not everyone around you genuinely wants to see you succeed. Some people smile in your face, but secretly hope for your failure. They listen to your plans, not because they support you, but because they want to measure how far ahead or behind they are. When you share too much, you allow envy to grow. Some people cannot stand the idea of you doing better than them, so they will subtly discourage you. They will disguise their jealousy as concern, telling you that your dreams are unrealistic, that your ambitions are too big, or that you should play it safe. They do not say these things because they care about you. They say them because they fear being left behind. Keeping your plans private protects you from these negative influences. When people do not know what you are working on, they cannot sabotage it, they cannot interfere, they cannot pollute your mind with their fears and doubts. You remain in control. You make decisions based on your vision, not on the insecurities of others. Another reason to move in silence is that many people thrive on gossip. They do not care about your success or well-being. They only want something to talk about. When you share too much, you become a topic of conversation in rooms where you are not present. Your private matters become public knowledge, and once your business is out in the open, you can never take it back. You lose control over your own story. People twist details, exaggerate, and sometimes they outright lie. They spread information that was never meant to leave your circle. And the worst part, you will not even know who betrayed you until the damage is done. Trust is a valuable currency, and not everyone deserves it. Just because someone is friendly does not mean they are trustworthy. Some people pretend to be close to you just to gain access to information they can use later. They wait for the right moment to reveal what they know, either to hurt you, embarrass you, or gain an advantage over you. When you keep certain things to yourself, you protect yourself from betrayal. You create a barrier that prevents opportunists from using your words against you. Silence is not about secrecy. It is about strategy. It is about understanding that not every battle needs an audience, not every move needs an announcement, and not every struggle needs a witness. Some things should be kept between you and God, between you and your work, between you and your purpose. The most successful people understand this. They do not broadcast every step they take. They work behind the scenes, and when they finally reveal their success, it is too late for anyone to stop them. Consider how nature operates. A seed is planted in the soil, hidden from the world. It grows in silence, developing roots, gaining strength, preparing for the moment it will break through the surface. If someone were to dig it up too soon, its growth would be disrupted. The same principle applies to your goals and aspirations. When you expose them too early, before they are fully developed, you risk interference. People may try to uproot your plans before they have a chance to take hold. They may introduce negativity, create obstacles, or even attempt to steal your ideas. But when you work quietly, you allow yourself to grow without distraction. You build something strong, something that cannot be easily shaken. There is also wisdom in unpredictability. When people cannot anticipate your next move, they cannot prepare to stop it. Those who share everything about themselves make it easy for others to predict their actions. They reveal their weaknesses, their struggles, their strategies, and in doing so, they give others the opportunity to counter them. But when you are selective with what you share, you remain an enigma. You become someone who cannot be easily read, someone who moves with purpose, but without unnecessary exposure. People respect mystery. They are drawn to those who do not reveal everything. They admire individuals who seem in control of their lives, who do not seek validation from others. When you keep your personal matters private, you command respect. You show that you do not need approval, that you do not need to explain yourself to anyone. You move with confidence, knowing that your actions will speak louder than your words. At the same time, this does not mean you should be closed off to everyone. There will be a select few people in your life who genuinely care, who have earned your trust, who have proven their loyalty. These are the ones you can confide in, the ones who will protect your secrets rather than exploit them. But these people are rare. They are not the ones who eagerly ask about your business. They are not the ones who seem too interested in what you are doing. True confidants respect your privacy. They support you without needing to know every detail. They are content to see you succeed without demanding access to every step of your journey. One of the greatest advantages of keeping things private is that it gives you peace. When you do not feel the pressure to explain yourself to everyone, you are free to focus. You do not have to worry about opinions, criticism, or unsolicited advice. You do not have to deal with the stress of people trying to control your decisions. You simply do what needs to be done without distraction, without interference. Many people fail to reach their full potential because they spend too much time talking and not enough time doing. They announce their plans, they seek approval, they ask for validation, and in the process, they delay progress. They let the opinions of others shape their decisions. They allow doubt to creep in. And sometimes, after talking so much about what they want to do, they lose the motivation to actually do it. Action is what creates results, not words. Those who are truly serious about their goals do not waste time seeking recognition. They do not feel the need to prove anything to anyone. They simply do the work. And when the results speak for themselves, they do not have to say a word. Success is best enjoyed in silence. When you reach your goals without making noise, you catch people by surprise. They did not see it coming. They did not have time to prepare, to doubt you, to block you. They are left in awe, wondering how you did it. But by then, it is too late. You have already arrived. The choice is yours. You can either share everything and expose yourself to unnecessary risks, or you can move strategically, keeping your most important plans private. You can either give people power over you by letting them into every aspect of your life, or you can take control by limiting access to only those who have earned it. Remember, silence is strength. Privacy is power. The less people know, the less they can interfere. The less they see, the less they can judge. The less they hear, the less they can gossip. When you move in silence, you protect your energy, you guard your dreams, and you set yourself up for success that no one can take away from you. There is a reason why the most successful and influential people in the world do not reveal everything about themselves. They understand a fundamental truth. The more people know about you, the more they feel entitled to influence your life. In today's world, where oversharing has become the norm, keeping certain things private is a sign of wisdom. When you allow too many people to know about your thoughts, plans, and personal matters, you invite unnecessary opinions, criticism, and interference. Not everyone who listens to you is listening with good intentions. Some people ask questions not because they care, but because they are collecting information. They want to know what you are up to so they can measure themselves against you, use your struggles against you, or even sabotage your progress. The more they know about you, the more they can manipulate your path. Some people will pretend to support you, but in reality, they only want to know your next move so they can get ahead of you. Others will use what you share as gossip, turning your personal business into a story for others to discuss. When you keep important aspects of your life to yourself, you deny people the ability to control your direction. There is great power in silence. When people cannot predict your actions, they cannot prepare to stop them. When you reveal too much, you make yourself vulnerable to opposition. You open the door for people to criticize your ideas, question your abilities, and cast doubt over your dreams. Sometimes their words alone can be enough to shake your confidence. When you allow outside voices to interfere with your vision, you risk losing your focus. But when you keep things to yourself, you protect your energy. You remain clear-headed and undistracted, moving forward without unnecessary obstacles. Many people are eager to share their plans and aspirations because they seek validation. They want reassurance that they are making the right decisions. But the problem is that when you rely on others for approval, you give them the power to influence your self-belief. Not everyone will encourage you. Some people will project their own fears onto you. They will tell you that your dreams are too big, that your goals are unrealistic, that you should lower your expectation. They will say these things not because they are true, but because they themselves lack the courage to pursue greatness. If you listen to them, you may start doubting yourself. You may start hesitating, delaying action, or even abandoning your plans altogether. Keeping your ambitions private shields you from this negativity. It allows you to stay focused on your journey without being swayed by the doubts of others. There is also a psychological advantage to keeping things private. When you talk too much about what you are going to do, your brain starts to feel as if you have already accomplished something. This can create a false sense of progress, reducing your motivation to actually do the work. Studies have shown that announcing your goals publicly can sometimes lead to a decline in effort because your mind already perceives some level of achievement. Instead of talking about what you will do, put your energy into taking action. Let your results speak for themselves. Moreover, people respect mystery. Those who do not reveal too much about themselves create an aura of intrigue. They seem more confident, more self-sufficient, and more in control. When you are selective about what you share, people see you as someone who does not need external validation. They recognize that you are focused and disciplined. They admire your ability to maintain control over your own narrative. On the other hand, those who constantly seek attention, who always share their struggles and achievements, often appear insecure. They seem to need validation in order to feel worthy. True confidence does not need an audience. It exists independently of external approval. Keeping things private also helps you maintain peace. The less you share, the fewer opinions you have to deal with. You do not have to constantly explain yourself or defend your choices. You do not have to waste energy justifying your decisions to people who may never truly understand your vision. When you guard your personal life, you create a sense of inner calm. You protect yourself from unnecessary drama, from gossip, from unwanted interference. You give yourself the freedom to grow at your own pace without feeling pressured by outside expectations. There is also the issue of trust. Not everyone deserves to know everything about you. Some people will use the information you share to their advantage. They may act supportive in front of you, but spread negativity behind your back. They may pretend to celebrate your success, but secretly hope for your failure. When you are careful about what you reveal, you minimize the risk of betrayal. You keep your circle small, surrounding yourself only with those who have truly earned your trust. One of the most important things to keep private is your weaknesses. Everyone has struggles, insecurities, and moments of doubt. But when you openly share these vulnerabilities, you give others the opportunity to use them against you. Not everyone will offer support when they see you struggling. Some people will take advantage of your low points, manipulating situations to their benefit. They will use your weaknesses to gain power over you, to diminish your confidence, or to control your decisions. Protecting your personal struggles does not mean pretending to be invincible. It means being selective about who you allow into your inner world. Only those who genuinely care about you should have access to your deepest thoughts and concerns. Another critical aspect of privacy is financial matters. Many people make the mistake of discussing their income, investments, or financial goals with too many people. This can lead to unnecessary tension, jealousy, and even exploitation. When people know too much about your financial situation, they may start expecting things from you. Some may seek to take advantage of your generosity, while others may begin comparing their own success to yours, breeding resentment. Keeping your financial matters private allows you to make decisions based on your own priorities rather than external pressures. It gives you the freedom to build wealth on your own terms without outside interference. Privacy also extends to your personal relationships. The more people know about your relationships, the more they feel entitled to offer opinions and advice. They will judge your choices, question your decisions, and sometimes even try to create conflict. Relationships thrive in environments of trust, not public scrutiny. When you keep the details of your personal life private, you protect your relationships from unnecessary stress. You allow them to grow naturally without the influence of outside perspectives. Ultimately, the decision to keep things private is not about being secretive, it is about being strategic. It is about understanding that not everything needs to be shared with everyone. It is about protecting your energy, your peace, and your progress. It is about ensuring that you remain in control of your own life, free from unnecessary interference. The less people know about your personal business, the less power they have over you. In a world that constantly encourages oversharing, choosing to move in silence is a sign of strength. It shows that you do not need validation, that you trust yourself, and that you are in control of your own destiny. Let people see the results of your work, not the process. Let them be surprised by your success, not aware of every step you took to achieve it. The less you reveal, the more power you hold. Move in silence, protect your vision, and let your success speak for itself. There is a silent power in keeping people guessing. When others cannot predict your next move, they cannot prepare to interfere, disrupt, or sabotage your progress. Too many people make the mistake of revealing their plans, thoughts, and feelings to those who have no real investment in their success. They share too much, too soon, without realizing that not everyone listening has good intentions. In a world where information is power, the person who speaks the least often holds the greatest control. One of the biggest dangers of oversharing is that it makes you vulnerable to external influence. The moment you let people in on your plans, you open the door for their opinions, doubts, and judgments. Some may discourage you not because your idea is bad, but because they do not want to see you surpass them. Others may plant seeds of doubt, making you question whether you are capable of achieving what you set out to do. When you keep your goals private, you protect yourself from unnecessary negativity. You allow yourself to move forward with clarity, without being weighed down by the fears and insecurities of others. Moving in silence also increases your efficiency. When you spend too much time talking about what you are going to do, you waste energy that could be used for action. Many people feel a sense of accomplishment just by announcing their plans, but this often leads to a decline in motivation. Talking about something tricks the brain into believing progress is being made, even when no real action has been taken. True success is built on execution, not words. Those who achieve the most are often the ones who say the least. They focus on doing rather than discussing, on building rather than boasting. There is also a strategic advantage in keeping things to yourself. If people know your plans, they can anticipate your moves. They can take action to slow you down, compete with you, or even steal your ideas. When you operate discreetly, you maintain the element of surprise. No one can interfere with what they do not see coming. Many of the most successful people in history achieved greatness by moving quietly, allowing their results to speak for themselves. They did not announce their strategies to the world. They simply took action and let the impact of their work reveal itself. Another important reason to limit what you share is to avoid unnecessary drama. The more people know about your business, the more room there is for gossip, speculation, and unwanted interference. Some people do not need to know the details of your life. They only want to hear them so they have something to talk about. Keeping certain things private allows you to maintain peace and focus. It removes distractions and keeps your life free from unnecessary complication. There is also a confidence that comes with keeping things to yourself. When you are selective about what you share, you send a message that you do not need external validation. You show that you trust yourself, that you are comfortable in your own decisions, and that you are not seeking approval from others. This level of self-assurance is powerful. It commands respect and establishes boundaries. People begin to see you as someone who is in control, someone who does not feel the need to explain or justify their every move. Protecting your privacy also helps maintain deeper, more genuine relationships. When you share everything with everyone, nothing feels special. But when you are intentional about what you reveal and to whom, you build stronger bonds with those who truly matter. Not everyone deserves access to your inner world. Some people are only present out of curiosity, not out of genuine care. By limiting what you share, you create a space for real connections based on trust rather than surface-level interactions. Many people also underestimate the importance of protecting their emotional energy. When you reveal too much, you open yourself up to criticism, unsolicited advice, and emotional manipulation. Not everyone will be happy for you. Some will pretend to support you while secretly hoping for your downfall. Others will try to use what they know about you to control or manipulate you. When you keep certain things private, you remove the power others have over your emotions. You stay grounded, focused, and in control of your own narrative. Another crucial reason to keep things to yourself is that not all ideas are ready to be shared. Sometimes when a plan is in its early stages, it is vulnerable. It needs time to develop, to grow strong before being exposed to the world. When you speak too soon, you risk receiving premature criticism that can shake your confidence. Some of the best ideas have been ruined simply because they were shared too early with the wrong people. By keeping your plans private until they are solid and well executed, you give them the best chance of success. Moreover, there is something empowering about moving in silence. When you operate without broadcasting your every move, you gain a sense of freedom. You are not weighed down by expectations, opinions, or pressure from others. You are able to make decisions purely based on what is best for you rather than what will impress or satisfy those around you. Many people make the mistake of seeking validation through constant updates about their progress. But the truth is, real progress does not need an audience. It needs commitment, discipline, and consistency. The most effective way to let people know what you are capable of is not through words, but through results. Let them see the transformation, the success, the accomplishments, rather than hearing about the plans. People remember what you achieve, not what you say you are going to do. There is something powerful about surprising people with what you have built in silence. It commands a different level of respect and admiration. Keeping things private does not mean isolating yourself or refusing to share anything. It means being intentional about what you reveal and to whom. It means understanding that not everyone deserves to know everything about you. It means protecting your dreams, your plans, and your personal life from unnecessary exposure. There is a time to speak and a time to stay silent. Wisdom is knowing the difference. When you develop the habit of moving in silence, you will notice that life becomes smoother. You will experience fewer distractions, less negativity, and greater peace of mind. You will find yourself more focused, more disciplined, and more in control of your own path. The world does not need to know every step you take. Let them see where you arrive. Let your success tell the story. Move with intention, protect your vision, and never feel obligated to explain your journey to those who are not walking it with you. There is a certain strength in being unpredictable. When people think they have you figured out, they believe they can control you, influence you, or take advantage of you. The moment you become an open book, the moment you reveal everything about yourself, your thoughts, your plans, your weaknesses, you give others the power to manipulate and use that information against you. The ability to keep certain things to yourself is not about secrecy. It is about maintaining control over your own life, your own choices, and your own destiny. Many people make the mistake of believing that honesty means telling everyone everything. They believe that sharing every detail of their lives makes them more likable, more trustworthy, or more relatable. But the truth is, the more people know about you, the more they feel entitled to an opinion on your life. The moment you share something personal, you invite judgment. People start offering their unsolicited advice, their criticisms, and their opinions, most of which are based on their own fears, insecurities, and limitations. If you constantly seek validation from others by sharing every aspect of your life, you will never be free to make decisions purely based on what is best for you. One of the greatest advantages of keeping certain things to yourself is that it protects your peace of mind. When you do not reveal too much, you do not have to deal with the weight of unnecessary opinions and external pressures. You are able to move forward without the burden of trying to please everyone. Many people struggle with doubt and insecurity, not because they lack ability, but because they allow too many voices into their lives. They let the opinions of others cloud their judgment, and in doing so, they lose confidence in their own decisions. But when you learn to move in silence, when you learn to trust yourself without needing constant reassurance, you develop a level of inner strength that cannot be shaken by outside noise. Another important reason to keep people guessing is to maintain an element of mystery. When people cannot predict your next move, they cannot prepare to interfere with your progress. There are those who do not wish you well, those who secretly hope to see you fail, and those who pretend to support you while secretly waiting for your downfall. If you reveal too much about yourself, you give these individuals an opportunity to work against you. They may try to sabotage your efforts, discourage you, or even take advantage of your openness. But when you remain unpredictable, when you keep your plans and intentions private, you eliminate the risk of being manipulated or controlled by external forces. There is also a psychological advantage to being selective about what you share. When people do not know everything about you, they are forced to respect you in a different way. They cannot make assumptions about you because they do not have all the information. They cannot categorize you or put you into a box because you remain beyond their complete understanding. This creates a sense of intrigue and curiosity. People tend to be more drawn to those who do not reveal everything up front because mystery is powerful. It keeps people engaged, it keeps them interested, and it keeps them guessing. Many successful individuals understand the power of silence. They do not announce their every move, they do not share their struggles with just anyone, and they do not seek approval for every decision they make. They understand that true power comes from discretion. They know that the less people know, the less interference they will face. They focus on taking action rather than making declarations. They let their results speak for themselves, rather than wasting energy trying to convince others of their worth. It is also important to recognize that not everyone deserves access to your inner world. Some people are not capable of handling your truth. Some are not mature enough to respect your vulnerabilities, and some are only present in your life out of curiosity, not out of genuine care. When you give away too much of yourself to the wrong people, you open yourself up to unnecessary heartache, disappointment, and betrayal. But when you learn to be selective, when you choose wisely whom you trust, you protect yourself from unnecessary pain. Another key benefit of keeping certain things private is that it allows you to change and evolve without external limitations. When people believe they know everything about you, they form fixed expectations. They assume that you will always be the same person, make the same choices, and follow the same path. But personal growth requires flexibility. It requires the freedom to adapt, to improve, and to redefine yourself as needed. When you keep certain aspects of your life private, you allow yourself the space to grow without feeling trapped by the expectations of others. You give yourself the freedom to become whoever you need to be without being weighed down by the past. There is also great discipline in maintaining privacy. It requires self-restraint to resist the urge to overshare, to seek validation, or to impress others with your plans. But this discipline strengthens your character. It teaches you patience. It teaches you to rely on yourself rather than on the approval of others. It teaches you that true confidence does not come from being acknowledged. It comes from knowing your worth even when no one else is watching. Some people confuse silence with weakness, but in reality it is a sign of great wisdom. It is easy to talk. It is easy to share every thought and feeling without restraint. But it takes strength to hold back, to observe, and to act only when necessary. Silence allows you to maintain control over your emotions, your decisions, and your life. It keeps you from being impulsive, from saying things you might later regret, and from giving others power over your circumstance. When you learn to guard your privacy, you gain a sense of independence that is truly liberating. You no longer feel the need to explain yourself to everyone. You no longer feel pressured to meet the expectations of those who do not truly understand you. You become the master of your own journey, making choices based on your own values, beliefs, and goals. This kind of freedom is rare, but it is one of the greatest gifts you can give yourself. The world does not need to know everything about you, your dreams, your struggles, your plans. They are yours to nurture, protect, and bring to life on your own terms. Not everyone will understand your journey, and that is okay. Your success does not depend on their understanding. It depends on your ability to stay focused, to move with intention, and to trust yourself even when no one else does. Let people wonder. Let them speculate. Let them be surprised by your growth, your achievements, and your transformation. You do not need to announce your every move to make an impact. True power comes from quiet confidence, from silent preparation, and from the ability to let your actions speak louder than words. Move in silence, protect your vision, and never feel obligated to share more than what is necessary. Your life is your own, and you have the right to live it without constant exposure. Your life is your own, and you have the right to live it without constant exposure. Let your life be your own, and you have the right to live it. Number 10, there is a profound strength in understanding that not everyone needs to know your plans, your struggles, or your personal journey. When you make the choice to keep certain things private, you gain a powerful sense of control over your life. In a world that thrives on oversharing, where social media platforms encourage people to document and broadcast every moment of their day, there is a quiet power in discretion. This power stems from the ability to protect your peace, maintain focus, and move without interference. When you limit what you reveal, you gain the freedom to work on your goals and dreams without the distractions and judgments that often come with oversharing. One of the most important aspects of this is the protection of your goals and ambitions. Everyone has aspirations, dreams that they want to pursue, but when you share these ambitions with others too soon, you risk exposure to negative energy and external doubts. People who do not share your vision or may not understand your journey might unknowingly discourage you, or inject fear and doubt into your mind. When you keep your goals to yourself, you give them the time and space to grow without being weighed down by unsolicited opinions. Your energy and focus remain solely on the task at hand, not on defending or explaining your choices to others. In addition to protecting your goals, privacy also shields you from people who may not have your best interests at heart. There are those who will disguise their intentions under the guise of friendly advice, only to steer you away from your path, subtly sabotaging your efforts. By keeping certain aspects of your life to yourself, you reduce the risk of these people gaining insight into your next move. They no longer have the advantage of knowing what you are planning or when you are planning to act. This makes it harder for them to interfere or derail your progress. In a world where trust can sometimes be hard to come by, being selective about what you share allows you to protect both your goals and your peace of mind. Moving in silence also cultivates a sense of focus that can be lost when you are constantly engaging with others about your plans. It is easy to get caught up in conversations about what you are doing or planning to do, but talking too much can drain your energy. The more you share, the more you feel the need to explain, justify, and defend your decisions. This can quickly become exhausting and distracting. When you limit the amount of information you disclose, you free up that energy to actually take action, to put in the work that will ultimately bring your goals to fruition. Talk is cheap. It is the actions you take in private that truly create the results you want to see in your life. The concept of moving in silence is also deeply tied to the idea of creating surprise. Often the people around you have no idea what you are capable of, especially if you are someone who tends to keep things under wraps. When you achieve your goals, accomplish something significant, or make a breakthrough, it can be much more impactful if no one expected it. The element of surprise not only creates a powerful impression, but it also demonstrates the strength of your character. You've achieved something without the need for validation or approval, and the results speak louder than any words or explanations ever could. In many ways, silence is a form of self-respect. It says that you are not desperate for approval or recognition. You are confident in your vision and your ability to execute it, and you understand that not everyone needs to be in the loop. This self-assurance allows you to move through life with a sense of peace that others may never experience. It gives you the freedom to make decisions based on what is right for you, not based on what others expect or want from you. It also means you do not feel the pressure to keep up with others or constantly explain why you are doing what you are doing. Choosing to keep your life private enables you to create a stronger connection with those who truly matter. When you open up too much to everyone, you dilute the value of your relationships. Not every person who comes into your life deserves to know your inner world. Some people are only interested in your story for their own gain or curiosity. But those who are meant to be in your life will understand the importance of maintaining boundaries. And they will respect your desire for privacy. By choosing who you share your inner thoughts with, you foster deeper and more meaningful connections with the people who genuinely care for you, and you eliminate the noise from people who are just passing through. There is also a profound sense of emotional protection that comes from keeping certain things to yourself. Every time you open up, you expose yourself to the possibility of judgment, criticism, or misunderstanding. The more you share, the more vulnerable you become. While vulnerability can be a strength in some situations, it also opens the door to potential harm, especially when it comes to people who may not have the emotional intelligence to handle it properly. By learning to withhold certain parts of your life, you protect your emotional energy from being drained by those who do not deserve access to it. You maintain your emotional integrity and guard against unnecessary hurt. Privacy can foster greater resilience and self-reliance. When you do not rely on others for validation or approval, you become more resourceful, more self-sufficient. You learn to trust your own instincts and make decisions based on your own judgment. The more you keep to yourself, the more you strengthen your inner resolve and increase your capacity to weather challenges. You do not depend on external praise to motivate you. Instead, you find strength within yourself to push through obstacles. This inner strength is crucial for personal growth. as it allows you to face challenges head-on without being distracted by the opinions of others. Moving in silence also cultivates patience. Achieving significant goals often takes time, and it requires sustained effort over a long period. When you share your plans with others too soon, you risk becoming impatient. You may start to feel as though the world is waiting for you to succeed. Or you may place unnecessary pressure on yourself to meet the expectations of those who know about your plans. However, when you keep things private, you can move at your own pace, free from the pressure of outside timelines or comparisons. You give yourself permission to take the time you need to build something truly great without worrying about others' opinions of your progress. Silence allows you to enjoy the journey more fully. When you stop sharing every detail of your life with others, you create space to fully immerse yourself in the process of growth and transformation. You stop focusing on what others think or expect from you, and you start focusing on what you want to create. You stop worrying about keeping up with others or proving anything to anyone. Instead, you embrace the beauty of personal growth, the satisfaction of quiet progress, and the joy of creating something valuable without the constant need for validation. In essence, learning to keep things to yourself is about protecting your peace, your energy, and your emotional well-being. It is about focusing on your own growth without interference, taking control of your life without distractions, and achieving your goals on your own terms. By learning to move in silence, you gain the strength to face challenges with resilience, make decisions without fear, and create success without the need for external approval. The power of silence is quiet but profound, and it holds the potential to transform your life in ways that words and explanations never could. There is a profound strength that lies in understanding that not everyone needs to know your plans, your dreams, or the intricate details of your personal journey. In a world dominated by constant connectivity, social media, and the desire to share every moment of our lives, there is something empowering about choosing to maintain a level of privacy. This isn't about being secretive or deceitful. It's about preserving your autonomy and protecting your personal space from external interference. When you reveal too much of yourself to others, you risk losing control over your life, your decisions, and your energy. Learning to keep certain things to yourself allows you to preserve your peace, maintain focus, and live life according to your own terms. The essence of keeping things private lies in protecting your goals. Everyone has dreams, big aspirations, and ambitions that are dear to them, but sharing these dreams with others too soon can sometimes invite negative energy, skepticism, or unwanted advice. While many people genuinely want to help, not everyone will understand or support your vision. They may offer their opinions based on their own limitations, fears, or experiences that may not align with your path. The more people you share your goals with, the more you expose yourself to criticism, doubt, or even discouragement. Keeping your goals close to your chest allows you the freedom to pursue them without the added pressure of others' expectations. You can make decisions based on what's right for you. Privacy also serves as a shield against those who may not have your best interests at heart. In every social circle, there are individuals who may present themselves as well-wishers, but their true intentions are less than noble. There are people who may secretly wish for you to fail or feel threatened by your progress. These individuals might not actively try to sabotage you, but their words, attitudes, or actions can unknowingly steer you off course. When you keep your life private, especially your intentions and plans, you protect yourself from these hidden threats. You no longer give others the ammunition they need to undermine your confidence or divert you from your true path. By keeping things to yourself, you avoid the trap of seeking validation from others. We live in a world where external approval is often mistaken for self-worth. The more you share your journey with others, the more you invite their judgments, and with those judgments often comes the urge to seek their approval. This cycle can drain your energy and distract you from your true purpose. By moving in silence, you eliminate the need for constant validation. You are no longer seeking external confirmation of your worth or your choices. You trust yourself and your instincts, and that confidence in your decisions becomes the foundation of your actions. When you do not rely on others' opinions, you free yourself from the fear of judgment and criticism, and you empower yourself to move forward with clarity and focus. There's also a significant element of surprise that comes from keeping things private. People often underestimate you when they do not know your next move. If you are someone who keeps your plans under wraps, your actions become a reflection of your true intentions. And when the time comes for you to achieve success, it can be that much more impactful. The surprise element can work to your advantage in various ways. First, it can serve as a protective measure. If others do not know your plans, they cannot attempt to interfere, sabotage, or discourage you. Second, when you achieve your goals, the result is often more powerful because it comes unexpectedly. People will be impressed by the results rather than your pre-plans or ambitions. It speaks volumes that you didn't feel the need to broadcast every step of your journey. Instead, you let your actions do the talking. And the outcome is often more rewarding because it wasn't based on others' expectations or opinions. Keeping things to yourself also allows for personal growth. It creates space for you to develop your ideas, refine your goals, and shape your future without the distractions and pressures that come from external sources. The more you share with others, the more you open yourself up to distractions. When people know too much about you, they start to form opinions on how you should live your life. Their perspectives, while sometimes well-meaning, can limit your freedom to grow and evolve. You might start feeling obligated to meet their expectations or justify your choices, which can hinder your ability to create a future that aligns with your authentic self. When you keep things private, you give yourself the freedom to make mistakes, adjust your course, and grow without the constant scrutiny or commentary from others. There is a psychological benefit to moving in silence as well. It's easy to get caught up in the desire to explain yourself, to justify your decisions to others, especially when you feel misunderstood or judged. But when you learn to be quiet and deliberate in your actions, you free yourself from that constant need to explain. You no longer feel the weight of other people's expectations on your shoulders, and you can move forward with a sense of calm and confidence. When your life is not constantly open for examination, you are free to make choices that are true to you, not based on what others expect or want from you. Keeping things private helps you develop emotional resilience. Life often presents challenges, and when you are going through difficult times, there is a natural urge to share your struggles with others. While it can be therapeutic to confide in a trusted friend or loved one, oversharing your difficulties can sometimes work against you. People, even those who care about you, can only offer limited support. Sometimes the best way to handle adversity is to go through it quietly, focusing on the solution rather than seeking sympathy. By keeping your challenges to yourself, you build emotional strength and resilience. You learn to face your struggles head-on, trusting that you have the ability to overcome them without needing the validation or input of others. Another crucial aspect of privacy is the ability to protect your energy. Not everyone in your life is deserving of access to your inner world. Some people are simply not equipped to handle the complexities of your thoughts, feelings, and plans. Sharing too much with the wrong people can lead to misunderstandings, hurt, and unnecessary emotional exhaustion. By maintaining boundaries and sharing only with those who have earned your trust, you ensure that your energy is protected. You give yourself the space to grow and process your emotions without the burden of external judgment or criticism. Finally, keeping things to yourself allows you to stay focused on your personal journey. Life is full of distractions, and it's easy to get sidetracked by the noise and opinions of others. When you choose to limit the information you share with the world, you create a clear path forward. You can devote your time and energy to building the life you want without the constant pressure of trying to meet other people's expectations or explain your choices. It frees you from the need to perform for others or seek validation. You can simply live your life in a way that feels authentic and aligned with your true desires. By moving in silence, you preserve your energy, your focus, and your peace. And in turn, you become more effective in creating the life you desire. The ability to keep things to yourself is not just about privacy. It's about taking control of your own destiny. It's about learning to trust yourself, relying on your own instincts, and creating a future that is shaped by your own hands. When you move in silence, you protect your peace, protect your dreams, and empower yourself to live life on your own terms. It's a quiet, powerful way to move through the world, and it holds the potential to transform your life in ways that words or external validation never could. In life, we often find ourselves at a crossroads, having to make decisions that are crucial to our future. One of the most profound choices we can make is to understand the importance of maintaining a certain level of privacy and secrecy. There is strength in not letting people know too much about you. The more you reveal, the more others can influence your decisions, your mindset, and your journey. There is immense power in learning to protect your personal life, your thoughts, and your goals from unnecessary exposure. We live in a world where the pressure to share, overshare, and be constantly transparent has never been greater. However, this openness is not always in our best interest. In fact, there are many advantages to keeping certain aspects of your life private. When we reveal too much about ourselves, we unintentionally open the door for other people to offer their opinions, judgments, and unsolicited advice. While some of this feedback may come from a good place, not everyone who speaks into our lives is in alignment with our vision. They may not understand our dreams or ambitions, or they may not have the wisdom to offer advice that is truly beneficial. When you share too much, you may find yourself swayed by opinions that derail you from your path. People, even those closest to you, can project their own fears, limitations, or unhealed wounds onto your plans. Their words can create doubt in your mind, making you question the decisions you've made for your life. By keeping certain things to yourself, you avoid unnecessary influence and allow yourself to follow your own instincts. You preserve the power of your vision and give yourself the space to stay true to your path. In addition to preserving your clarity of purpose, maintaining privacy helps to safeguard your emotional well-being. When you open yourself up to others too much, you risk exposing yourself to emotional harm. Not everyone who comes into your life has pure intentions. People can be unpredictable, and even those who love you may unintentionally hurt you by not understanding your boundaries. Some people thrive on drama, negativity, or gossip. And once you open up too much, you give them the power to judge, criticize, or undermine your life. You expose yourself to the energy of others, which can leave you feeling drained, confused, or conflicted. Privacy acts as a protective barrier, allowing you to shield yourself from unnecessary stress and negativity. It allows you to set clear boundaries and protect your emotional state so that you can continue moving forward without the weight of other people's judgments. There's also a tremendous amount of personal strength that comes from learning to rely on yourself. When you keep things to yourself, you are forced to develop internal resilience. You stop looking to others for approval or validation and instead trust your own instincts. This self-reliance builds confidence and fosters a deeper connection to your authentic self. You begin to realize that your decisions are not dependent on what others think or say. You become more self-assured and less influenced by external factors. This internal strength is essential for success in life because as you go after your dreams, you will encounter challenges, setbacks, and even moments of doubt. The ability to remain steadfast in your goals without being swayed by others is what will ultimately carry you through difficult times. Privacy also allows you to control the narrative of your life. When you share too much, you risk others defining who you are based on their perceptions. People are quick to make assumptions, to label, and to judge. By keeping certain parts of your life private, you reserve the right to define yourself. You get to decide how you want to be seen and how you want to show up in the world. The more you share, the more people can form opinions based on limited information. By withholding certain details, you maintain control over your personal story. It also allows you to avoid the trap of people-pleasing. When others know too much about your life, it can lead to the constant need to justify your actions or explain your decisions. You become trapped in the cycle of seeking validation Keeping things private removes the need for this justification and allows you to live your life on your own terms. Another key benefit of not letting people know too much about you is the ability to protect your energy. Your energy is one of your most valuable resources. It determines how you feel, how you interact with others, and ultimately how successful you are in life. When you overshare or make yourself vulnerable, you open yourself up to a flood of external energy. This could be positive energy, but it can also be draining or toxic energy. The more you share with others, the more you allow them access to your emotional, mental, and spiritual space. Not everyone who asks about your life or shares their opinions has your best interests at heart. Some people may be envious, jealous, or simply too caught up in their own lives to offer any real support. By limiting the amount of personal information you share, you protect your energy from being siphoned off by those who do not contribute positively to your life. Keeping things private allows you to focus more on your personal growth. When your attention is constantly pulled in different directions by the opinions and expectations of others, it becomes harder to stay focused on your own development. Constantly explaining yourself, justifying your choices, or seeking validation can become a major distraction. By keeping things to yourself, you create the mental and emotional space necessary for personal reflection and growth. You can focus on refining your goals, learning new skills, and becoming the person you were meant to be without the distractions of outside influences. This focus is what helps you stay on track and continue progressing toward your objectives. There is also a strategic element to privacy. When you keep your plans and goals to yourself, you create an element of surprise. People who are aware of your intentions are often ready to judge or offer their thoughts. However, when you choose not to share every detail, you leave room for others to be amazed by your success when it finally unfolds. The surprise element can be incredibly powerful because it highlights your ability to manifest your dreams without the need for external validation. It demonstrates your focus, discipline, and determination. It also allows you to make moves in silence, making it more difficult for anyone to predict your next step or interfere with your progress. Keeping things private helps maintain a sense of mystery, which can be beneficial in both personal and professional relationships. People are naturally drawn to mystery. When you reveal everything about yourself, you lose that element of intrigue. You may inadvertently give others the impression that you are predictable, which can lead to people losing interest. By withholding certain aspects of your life, you remain enigmatic and more interesting to others. This sense of mystery can also create a deeper sense of respect, as others begin to understand that you are not easily accessible or transparent. They begin to recognize your boundaries and respect your need for privacy. This sense of mystery can help you maintain healthier relationships and foster an atmosphere of mutual respect. Not letting people know too much about you is not about being secretive or dishonest. It is about protecting your personal space, your goals, and your energy. By choosing to keep certain aspects of your life private, you gain the freedom to live on your own terms, make decisions that align with your authentic self, and protect yourself from unnecessary external influences. This discipline fosters internal strength, self-reliance, and a deep connection to your true purpose. In a world that constantly demands transparency and openness, the power of privacy cannot be underestimated. By embracing it, you give yourself the space to thrive, to grow, and to ultimately create the life you desire. In life, success is not only about what you do, but also about how consistently you do it. The power of consistency is often underestimated in the hustle and bustle of daily life, where distractions, challenges, and opportunities come and go. Yet one of the most reliable markers of success is the ability to stay consistent, regardless of external circumstances. Consistency is the silent force behind achieving long-term goals, whether they relate to personal development, career, relationships, or health. In fact, consistency is one of the most critical habits that can shape your future. It is the simple but powerful act of doing something repeatedly with purpose and determination, no matter how difficult it becomes. There are times in life when we feel inspired or motivated to make changes. Perhaps we decide to lose weight, start a new project, or build a habit of reading more books. Initially, everything feels fresh, exciting, and possible. We may be enthusiastic, even determined. But as time goes on, the initial excitement fades and the enthusiasm begins to wane. Challenges arise. Life becomes unpredictable. And soon enough, we find ourselves caught in a cycle of starting and stopping. The momentary burst of motivation we once had may disappear, and we start doubting ourselves. It is in these moments of uncertainty that consistency becomes essential. Consistency is what separates those who achieve their goals from those who abandon them. It is not about being perfect or doing everything flawlessly, but about showing up day after day, even when it feels difficult or uncomfortable. It is about choosing to continue even when you don't feel like it or when progress seems slow. Success doesn't come from a single act of brilliance or a one-time effort, but from the constant, repeated actions that compound over time. These small, consistent steps lead to significant changes. If you can make a commitment to yourself to be consistent, even in the face of obstacles, you will be amazed at how much you can accomplish. One of the most powerful aspects of consistency is that it helps to create momentum. When you do something repeatedly, it becomes easier over time. The more you engage in a particular behavior or action, the more natural it feels. At first, consistency may feel like a struggle, especially if the task at hand is difficult or new. But as you continue, you develop a rhythm. The repeated efforts start to pay off. Whether you're building a new fitness routine or working on a long-term career project, each consistent action builds upon the last, slowly propelling you toward your goal. It's the act of doing that creates momentum. And this momentum makes it easier to keep going. Another critical benefit of consistency is that it builds discipline. In the beginning, your goals may be driven by passion, excitement, or external motivations. But as time passes and motivation fades, discipline is what keeps you on track. Consistency forces you to practice discipline by creating a routine or schedule. It requires you to prioritize your actions even when you don't feel like it. Discipline is often seen as a necessary evil, something that restricts freedom and fun. But in reality, discipline is the foundation for freedom. When you are disciplined and consistent, you free yourself from the constant struggle of decision-making and self-doubt. You no longer have to rely on fluctuating emotions or moods to dictate your actions. Instead, you trust in the power of consistency to guide you toward your goals. Another aspect to consider is that consistency is the key to mastery. Whether you are learning a new skill, developing a talent, or trying to improve in any area of your life, consistency is the practice that leads to mastery. Think of any expert you admire, whether they're a musician, athlete, entrepreneur, or artist. Behind their success lies years of consistent practice and effort. It's not about being naturally gifted or having extraordinary talent, but about the daily commitment to improvement. When you show up consistently and practice regularly, you begin to refine your abilities and become better over time. Even when it feels like progress is slow, consistency ensures that you are always moving forward, inch by inch, toward the level of mastery you desire. Consistency also brings a sense of stability and structure to your life. Life can be chaotic and unpredictable, and when everything around you feels uncertain, consistency provides a sense of control. Establishing routines and sticking to them, even in the face of adversity, helps to create a sense of order. For example, creating a consistent morning routine or dedicating specific times for work, exercise, or self-care can help you feel more grounded. It becomes a steady rhythm that you can rely on even when other things are out of your control. Consistency is a stabilizing force, providing structure in the midst of uncertainty. However, consistency does not mean rigidity. It is important to understand that consistency involves being adaptable as well. Life will always present challenges, and there will be times when you may need to adjust your approach. The key is to remain consistent in your commitment to the end goal, even if the path to get there changes. Flexibility within your consistency allows you to stay on course without becoming frustrated or disheartened when things don't go as planned. If you can adapt to changes while maintaining your consistency, you will be better equipped to navigate challenges and stay focused on the bigger picture. There is also an element of resilience that comes with consistency. When things are difficult and the road is long, it can be easy to give up or lose motivation. But consistency builds resilience by teaching you to keep going no matter what. It trains you to persevere in the face of adversity. The process of continuing, even when the rewards are not immediate, develops mental strength. The act of showing up day after day, even when progress seems invisible, cultivates the resilience required for long-term success. Consistency plays a crucial role in achieving personal growth. When you stay consistent with the habits and practices that align with your values, you gradually evolve into the person you want to become. Each action you take compounds and shapes your character, mindset, and skills. The power of consistency lies in its ability to mold you into a stronger, more capable individual. It is through consistent effort that we break old patterns, challenge limiting beliefs, and push the boundaries of our potential. Consistency, though essential, is not without its challenges. There will be moments when the results seem far off or when the effort feels too much. There will be times when you question whether it's worth it or when you wonder if progress will ever come. However, it is precisely in these moments that consistency proves its power. By sticking to your commitments, despite the hurdles, you will gradually see the fruits of your labor. The most successful people in life are those who keep moving forward, one step at a time, even when the path is difficult and progress is slow. Consistency is one of the most critical ingredients for success in any area of life. It is the key to mastering new skills, achieving goals, and creating lasting change. When you commit to consistency, you create a foundation upon which you can build your dreams. It is the ability to show up day in and day out that will carry you through the inevitable ups and downs of life. When motivation wanes and obstacles arise, consistency is the steady force that will keep you moving forward. With consistency, you will not only achieve success, but also become the person you are meant to be. Consistency is the cornerstone of success and personal growth. It is the daily commitment, even when faced with challenges, distractions, and moments of doubt, that truly shapes the path to achieving our goals. Success is not built on sudden bursts of motivation or fleeting moments of brilliance. Rather, it is the small, consistent actions taken over time that compound to create significant results. Whether it's in developing new habits, mastering skills, or pursuing long-term aspirations, consistency is what keeps you moving forward steadily and persistently, even when progress seems slow. By fostering consistency, you build discipline, resilience, and stability in your life, laying the foundation for enduring success and personal transformation. When you remain committed to your goals and keep showing up no matter how tough the journey gets, you will not only reach your destination, but become a stronger, more capable version of yourself. Consistency, above all, is what will ultimately guide you to the success you seek and the person you aspire to be.